So welcome to Foundation Friday, July 7th, 2017, 7/7/17. Must be an extremely lucky day on top of being the end of an incredibly short week, wasn't it? Because of that Tuesday holiday, at least here in the U.S. The week seemed to consist of just Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and flew by, and lots of people, hardly anybody was working and whatever. I got a lot of stuff accomplished and all kinds of things happening, which is very cool. But as always, I will start out today by sharing the rhino of the day. And today it is this basic wooden carved rhino, some dark wood carved rhino. He is not that standard or basic, though, because he is unique in the fact that you can see the front of his horn, the top of his horn has been broken off. I did not pack him properly in our move, and the horn broke, but in real life, you know, they kill rhinos for the horns, but otherwise, rhinos, just like this guy, just keeps going, even if you break him a little bit, just like entrepreneurs, hence the rhino being the symbol of the entrepreneur. That's just one of the reasons why. Anyway, today, Foundation Friday, a basic building block of all business, and I'm going to share basic math number. Now, unfortunately, you know, math is not a topic of every entrepreneur or business owner. Entrepreneurs more so, because we're all about numbers and multiple businesses, and so our skills are more involved in more businesses. So we're looking more at purely the numbers. Business owners tend to be doing something because they like doing it or they're good at it, and they have more tendency to get into the doing of the business and not really the overseeing and the running of things like entrepreneurs do. But anyway, either way, unfortunately, I can usually stump a prospect or a client or pretty much any business owner I meet by asking a few basic math questions, which is before I can even get into any conversation, we got to know what's going on. And it's unfortunate, but so you, by watching this video and implementing what I'm about to share with you, are no longer going to be able to be stumped, at least on the first number, and I'll share others in future Foundation Friday videos. But today I'll just share one of what I have the core seven numbers you need to know about your business. So I'll share the core one of the seven core numbers today, and that's what is known in the marketing world as ATV. You got to know your ATV, and that stands for the average transaction value in your business. Now, whenever I ask this, the first thing almost always, it's almost never does somebody just tell me the number. Most people immediately go to excuse. This is, of course, an excuse victim-driven society we live in. Everyone, unfortunately, so many business owners take the bait, along with the 87% of society that's not business owners, who are, of course, victim and blame-oriented. Nothing is their fault, of course, including their entire life in the hands of big government or big business or somebody to please, you better do this for me, and it's not fair if you take that away from me, and like, cut all that crap out. But even the 13% of us that run our own businesses, unfortunately, we don't take enough control of our own businesses, and it started as ATV, and so right away I get the excuse, and they go like, well, average. Well, you know, that varies. That depends. And I'm like, well, of course it varies. That's why I asked you for the average. If it didn't vary, I would just say, what's the exact price that you sell every single thing for? But it's not. It's an average, which assumes that there are going to be different numbers involved, and a tiny little bit of math is needed. So instead of just, you know, the knee-jerk reaction of like, well, I don't know, that depends. Like, of course it depends. So, but what's still a number? So, or another excuse is, man, that's tough to figure. Yeah, I'm sure it's tough. I'm sure it's depends. I'm sure all those excuses, but you got to know the number. So let's just take a business like, say you are a roofer, and you know, depends on the roofing job you're doing. That's what a roofer would tell me. You go, well, it depends. You know, sometimes I'll do a $10,000 job, $15,000 job, but sometimes I just go over and do a $200 repair. Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. So it depends. I'm like, okay, that was all good. I'm sure it depends, and of course it depends and whatever. But what's the average? So if you don't know the average and you've been in business for a while, you can just go back through all your customer receipts, and you can see the average transaction value, that you had 100 transactions last year, 100 different jobs you did for customers, and this is the total amount that came into your business. Therefore, the average transaction value is this much. Or you can get advanced, but which, by the way, I teach this much more advanced, of course, in the WOW strategy 6-week course, but you can go through and you can parse them out. You can segment them out and say, well, the average repair job is this much, the average full roof is this much, the average full roof that I do in this community is this much, but over here in this area, it's only this much, the average commercial job is this much. I mean, you could run these numbers for every different area of your business, every product you sell, every different line of products. Let's say you're in a restaurant. You could say, well, lunches are an average of this, but breakfasts are an average of that. Sunday brunch is an average of this. Or weekday dinners are this, but Friday nights an average of that. And the average bar tab on a weekday is this, but on a Friday or Saturday it's that. And you can run this number over and over and over, which it would be very smart to do, to know all these numbers, because you're going to know this number before, doesn't it make sense, before you're going to even launch, even think about doing any advertising or any kind of marketing, or even for your pricing when you're doing sales. I mean, you just got to know. I mean, if I'm placing an ad, I got to think, what do I have in mind? Now, I say gotta, but I don't gotta, because 90 whatever % of business owners don't do it. They place an ad, just say, hope the phone rings. I hope it gets some work. Instead of, well, this ad is going to cost X amount, that's my investment, and I need to get X number of these jobs, or X number of these, and X number of the, or whatever. So I'm placing an ad in a trade magazine for some commercial work, and I need to get at least 6 of this type of job, or 3 types of that job, or a total of this, or whatever. You got to know this number, ATV. Now here's the second thing. Once you know your ATV, whatever that is, and it differs, of course, in every business. I just mentioned a restaurant. It's going to differ widely from a roofing business. However, the volume also, of course, is going to differ widely. The restaurant is dealing with thousands and thousands of transactions. The roofer is dealing with much fewer, many fewer transactions. But once you know your ATV, or your several different ATVs in your business, the next thing you want to do is you want to be thinking and working all the time on the number one question of, how can I increase my ATV? You always want to be increasing the ATV. So what are some ways to increase it? Well, you can sell more of whatever you have to any given customer. You can sell them more often. You can raise the price and raise that transaction just right there by raising the price of it. So for instance, let's say the roofer. And the roofer, again, being excuse and blame oriented, which is acceptable. I mean, it's not really, it shouldn't be acceptable. You shouldn't accept it yourself, but it's understandable because we're surrounded by the blame-driven society or excuse-driven society. But the roofer would say, well, roofs like, let's say $10,000 roof, but they only do a roof once every 10 years, so that's it. That's all I can get out of them is 10 grand. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't sell them a second roof, Steve. Well, sometimes you can. So I'm going to come back, and even when they say that, they catch themselves and go, but wait a minute. Because I'll just ask them, I'll go, so you're going to tell me that you never did a roof owner who then said, can you do a second roof? Well, yeah, a guy had a second home, or the guy owned a business, or vice versa, did the commercial roof, and then 3 of the employees said, I need some work on my homes. And so you got 4 jobs out of that one. And so that's one way to increase your ATV, that every time I get a customer, it results in this much for the main roof, and 1 out of 10 of them has a second roof. So it's a little math here, I know, but that's $10,000 average. 1 out of 10, which means an extra $1,000. So now I've increased my ATV up to $11,000, just doing that one $10,000 roof. Does that make sense? Again, if I'm going too fast, go to stevesipress.com/help. As always, fill out a form, and if you got an interesting enough situation you can convince me to help you out, of course, I'll help you out. And once in a while, even agree to take somebody on as a client. Although right now that's not happening. I'm overloaded with projects, but if I take you on, then I extremely help you out and guarantee you have success. But anyway, so that's one way to do it. Another way is to do some cross-selling. Maybe you have other products or services to sell. So you get up on the roof, and sure, you did only the roof, but then you say, hey, what about the soffit fascia? What about some the chimney repair? What about, I can add in some continuity, some ongoing income. What about our maintenance program? For X amount a year, I come back twice a year and I check it out and I fix any this and that, but you also open your eyes and see these other things going on, and maybe I can do some gutter cleaning or gutter repair. Or if I don't do any of these things I see, maybe I refer it out to a buddy of mine who does that, and he'll shoot me over a referral fee. So I'm increasing the value of that one customer. And there are many more ways to do it. But hopefully I just got you started here on Foundation Friday, just touching on the basics. And as always, up at the end here, Neil Christensen, thanks for being here, Neil. And Neil is saying there is no there is no white horse coming to save you. So I don't know if he means that about me, to save me from my disheveled, unshaven look, or the ridiculous, silly red Hawaiian shirt that I love to wear, or the fact that I am going through another ridiculous heat wave in the area that I live here in way too sunny Arizona, where I think it's close to setting a all-time record temperature for the day. It's like up to 116 or something. Or is Neil seconding my statement that to every business owner out there, this is something you just got to do. There is no white horse coming to save you. Either way, it works. Thanks for the comment, Neil. I thank everybody for likes, comments, because the more of those, from what I hear, the more Facebook will show the videos to other people. Other places they can see it, though. Plenty of people are watching them on YouTube, LinkedIn, my blog. I send them out to my email. I got several Facebook pages, Twitter. I mean, it's all over the place. And so hopefully you're one of the many people that are benefiting from these daily videos that I do. So that's it for Foundation Friday. I will be back again tomorrow for Success Story Saturday. I'll share a success story of a successful entrepreneur. Hopefully that will inform you, possibly even motivate you to take your business to the next level. And therefore, I could talk about you in a future edition of Success Story Saturday. Speaking of which, Neil or anybody else that has a successful business, let me know. I'd love to interview you for Success Story Saturday. And I'll be back next week. Unless something else comes up, I'll share another of the basic math numbers you just got to know in your business. Next Friday on Foundational Friday. I hope you join me then. And thanks for being here today. And have a fantastic week.